Let's now talk about making circle, arc and rectangle, and I'll start with circle. So I'm going to use the circle tool from Sketch tab. So here we have the circle tool, and if you click this arrow you'll see that we have two different ways of making the circle. I'll use the first one and I'll start with the plane. So I'll select front plane, and now let's make the first circle. So I'll use this origin, and using this as a center I'll just make the circle. That's it. You need only these 2 points. Now we have a circle of approximately 32 unit here. You can specify the radius value right now, right here if you want to. For example, I'll type 30 and press enter, and this will change. Or you can also specify this radius value later using the dimension tool. So in this case I'll leave the circle and I'll press escape. Alright, now let's go to the second option. So I'll go to this and I'll select the perimeter circle. Now in this case we need 3 points for making this circle. So I'll just click on first point here. Here goes the second point, and here goes the third point. So basically it will make a circle that will pass through 3 points. Once again, if you want to specify a radius here, you can do so, or you can do that later using dimension. Now let's talk about creating arcs. So I'll just move it aside, and then we have the arc tool here, and if you click this arrow you'll see all the 3 arc tools that we can use. Let's start with center point arc. Now as the name suggests, you need to start with center point. So I'll click at a point and that's going to become the center. Now I'll click here and we have the arc now. I'm moving my arc in anti-clockwise direction, so it's making it in this direction. But if, however, you just move it in the clockwise direction, it will make it in that direction too. So here I'll just move it in anti-clockwise and I'll click here and we have the arc. Now we don't need to go back to all the other tools again because these tools are already available for us here. So now if you want to start making something else, some other kind of arc, then you can select it from here. So the second type of arc is tangent arc, and the tangent arc will basically make an arc which is tangent to existing geometry. So for making this arc you need an existing geometry. In this case we already have this arc, and you can use this not only with arc but also with lines and other things. So here I'll just click on this endpoint, and now we'll have a tangent here. Now this arc will remain tangent with the arc that we started with, the arc which we used as a reference, but also you can change that. So in this case, though it is tangent, if I move my cursor back to this point and if I start in this direction, look at this, it will become tangent but now in an opposite way. So if I click now, just look at this and this, they are tangent but now in this direction. So you can change the direction simply by moving your arc. So again, now in this case you can see that it is completely perpendicular to the point where I started this with. So I'll move back here, and when I move it away from that, here it is. Now it's tangent. I'll go to this point again and I'll move here, and again it's tangent. I'll go here and now I'll move it out like this, and it is kind of like perpendicular at that exact point. So depending on where you start your arc from, it will be either tangent or perpendicular, and the direction of tangency will also change. So I'll just keep on making, and here we have it. To exit out of this, press escape. Now finally the third type of arc, which is 3 point, and basically you just need 3 points for this. So the first point, the second point, and the third point somewhere here, and we have got the 3 point arc. Now once again let's move it aside, and let's now talk about rectangles. Now there are several different ways of making rectangle, and if you click this arrow right beside this, you'll see actually 5 different ways, and 4 of these are for rectangle, and the last one is for a parallelogram, which is very similar to rectangle, of course. So I'll start with corner rectangle. Now in this case we need 2 diagonally opposite points. So I'll click on first point here and the second point here, and just by specifying these 2 points we were able to make this rectangle. Now let's go to the second one, which is the center rectangle. So I'll select it from here, and then I'll click at a point, and that point will be the center of rectangle. Now if I move out, you'll see that we now have two diagonals, and also the rectangle will be made accordingly. Now the advantage of this rectangle is, well, very basic. In this case, you can use these diagonals as references, and you can even dimension them later using the Smart Dimension tool. All right, let's press escape. Let's see what we have next. 3-point rectangle. So basically you need 3 points for this. So first point, well, I'll just make second point here, then third point here, and we have the 3-point rectangle. So first 2 points will define the direction of your rectangle, and the third point will just specify the height of your rectangle. Then we have 3-point rectangle, but in this case the first point will be the center. So it's kind of like this arc which is made with this diagonal, but it will be made with 3 point instead of 2. So again, maybe I'll just make one here. So first point and second point. Now this point will be along the center of the rectangle. So I'll click here, and now look at this. When I move out, it is basically just making my rectangle using the first point here and the second point right here. Now I just need to specify the third point and it will make the rectangle. And finally, the parallelogram. So in this case, it will make, well, the parallelogram where the opposite sides will be parallel. So the first point, second point, and you can specify the third point to make that parallelogram. And here it is. That's the parallelogram. Opposite sides, they are parallel. And that's how you can create these 3 basic geometries: the circle, arc, and rectangle. So now let's talk about adding sketch relations. So in this case, we have a couple of lines, circles, and arc, and I'll start by selecting this line. So when I select this line, you can clearly see that we now have this flyout with these relations. So we have the horizontal relation here, the vertical one, and the fixed. These relations are also available here on the property palette. So we have horizontal, vertical, and fix. Now you can apply these relations either from here or from the selection flyout. In this case, I'll apply it from the property panel. So I'll click on this horizontal, and here it is. Now it's completely horizontal. I'll just click outside, and then I'll select this line. Now I'll click on vertical, and it will become perfectly vertical. Also, you'll notice that when we add the relations, this green colored relation icon will just show up right next to the geometry. It will also show the icon of relation which is added here to this line. So this one is horizontal, this one is vertical. Now with this relation, you cannot change the geometry, so it will always remain vertical. This line is always going to remain horizontal no matter what. Now if you want to break this relation, if you want to delete this, then just left click on this relation, then right click and select delete. You can do the same for this. Left click, then right click and delete. Now you can freely move this geometry once again. Alright, now let's select the geometries again, but this time I'll select 2 geometries. So I'll select the first line and the second line. And now we have more relations between these two, and that's because we can add more relations between these 2 lines. So these lines can be horizontal, vertical, or fixed, which was in the first condition. So that still exists, but apart from that, you can now make these 2 lines collinear, perpendicular, parallel, or make them equal. So we'll talk about these one by one. Let's first start with this and this line, and now I'll select collinear. When you make it collinear, the lines are going to align along the same line. So there it is. That's the collinear. They are going to remain along the same line. Now let's press Ctrl Z a couple of times, and again select both of these using Control Select. So whenever selecting these 2, you need to press and hold your Control key. Now I'll select perpendicular, and now it is perpendicular. Though it may not look like it is actually perpendicular, but when you increase this length and just move it close to this, it will drop exactly at 90 degrees. So it is perpendicular. Alright, again Ctrl Z a couple of times. Now these 2 are already selected. As you can see, it's highlighted. I'll select parallel, and they're now parallel, and they're going to remain parallel once you've applied the constraint. I'll press Ctrl Z again, and now apply equal, and the length of these two will become equal. Now if you change length of one of these, the length of second one will also change. But in this case, as you can see, when I'm trying to change the length, it is just moving the entire geometry with it. So in this case, I will make one of these points fixed. So maybe I'll select this point, and now I only have one relation, that is fix. So I'll click on fix. Now this point is fixed. I'll click on this point and I'll move it. And as I'm moving it up, this one is also moving it. And here the length is also changing equally. So that's how the equal constraint works. So again, I'll press Ctrl Z a couple of times so that all the relations are now gone. Okay. So these were the relation between lines. Now let's see what relations we can add between a line and a circle. So Control select both of these, and now we have relations like tangent, fix, and equal curve length. Let's start with tangent, and there we have it. The line will become tangent to circle, which means if you increase the length, well, there it is, there it goes, it's tangent. If you move your circle, it's going to remain tangent no matter what you do. All right, press Ctrl Z a couple of times, and now the next relation which will apply is equal curve length. Now fix, you already know about that, so we'll skip that. Equal curve length will ensure that the length of curves will become equal, which means in this case circumference of the circle will become equal to the line length. So I'll select equal curve length. There we have it. Now the circumference of the circle is equal to the length of this line. Now you can see this in a better way in this situation. So here we have two circles. Let's select both of these, and here we do have this equal option, which will kind of do the same thing that this equal curve length will do, but here I'll use this equal curve length, and there we have it. They now have the same circumferences, so same radius and same diameter as well. So I'll press Ctrl Z, and now let's see what other options we have. So again, so we have seen all the relations between a circle and a line. Now let's see the relation between circle and circle. Now in this case, we have options like co-radial. We'll see that in a moment. Tangent, you already know about that. So we'll skip that, and now concentric. So now if you select concentric, both the circles will share same center. And if you move any one of these, the second one will move with it. All right, Ctrl Z, both the circles selected. Now what else we have? Equal. So if you select equal, well, both of them will have same radii or diameter. And then equal curve length, you already know about that. Now let's talk about co-radial, and we can understand co-radial in a better way using these two arcs. Now both of these arcs have different radii, as you can see. Well, now I've changed the radii well significantly, and if you want to make them co-radial, well, then select these arcs, first one, second one, and now again we have the co-radial option. Select this. Now once you make it co-radial, it will kind of become part of a single circle. So if you extend it further, it is going to merge exactly at a point which is on that circle. So this is what the co-radial is. They are going to share the same circle when extended further. So that is the co-radial option. And these are the different constraints or relations that you can apply. Now this is not the limit. You can still apply constraints between all the different kind of geometries. For example, you can select this midpoint, and then you can select the midpoint of the circle and then apply any of these constraints. For example, we have this merge constraint, which is kind of a different constraint which we have not seen so far. So here it is, apply merge, and these 2 points will merge together. Also, you can just select maybe this line and this point, and then you can apply the midpoint constraint. So in this way, you can clearly just move midpoint of this point exactly on the center of this circle. So these are some of the intelligent constraints or the relations that you can apply between different 2D geometries.
These are premium educational videos that are usually paid, but I'm sharing them for free on YouTube. Subscribe and support the channel.